This Thursday betting preview edition of Pucks Across Borders on Total Apex Sports and Sports Addict Live, brought to you by the one, the only First Round Collectibles. Right now with our promo code Sports Addict, get 10% off whatever card you want in the entire First Round Collectibles store. They have an ongoing sale up to 50% off tons and tons of cards. And with our promo code Sports Addict, not only do you get 10% off of regular price items, but sales items as well. Do the math. 20 becomes 30, 30, 40, 40, 50, 50, 60. Whatever card you want in the entire First Round Collectible store. Get 10% off with our promo code Sports Addict. 10% off regular priced and sales priced items. Hockey, football, basketball, baseball, wrestling, boxing. You want it. I promise you. They got it. Go to firstroundcollectibles.com today. Use promo code Sports Addict for 10% off your order. That's the number one. STRoundcollectibles.com, firstroundcollectibles.com. First Round Collectibles, sports cards for sports fans.
Yeah. Let's go. We just gotta go hard. I go the hardest. I bring the pain. Not what you used to. It's all part of the game. Yeah, I just gotta go hard. I just gotta go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Yeah.
And welcome to a little Pucks Across Borders After Dark Thursday betting preview of the NHL on Total Apex Sports. Trying to be a little cautious with my volume. I have my voice in my ears, but my wife tells me I'm still loud. My son is finally sleeping in the other room, so I'm trying to be delicate. But as always, thank you for joining us. Good to be here. Pretty crazy night-ish in the NHL. Just 3 games to go through. Hectic for certain teams, that's for sure. We'll dive into it. Plus 12 games to get into tomorrow. But first, as always, Andre, how are we feeling? I just spoke to you a few hours ago, so I'm sure pretty much the same. But anything crazy, life-changing happened in the last, 5 hours?
Yeah, nothing life-changing yet. Get back to me in like 32 minutes, Something crazy will have happened by then. But for now, I'm just chilling. End of the show. You should circle back end of the show. I'll have a little something for you.
I'll let you know once it's officially Thursday.
Yeah.
So, in the NHL tonight, quick wrap-up. Capitals beating the Predators. Predators were right there. Couldn't get the job done. I listened to most of this game on the radio, strangely enough, in my house, trying to be a good father, but also listening to a game in one ear on the radio. So, I don't know, maybe not the best father, but that's okay. I can tell you what happened. The Predators were right there. Maybe probably should have won the game. Didn't stretch the lead big enough. 1-0, 1-1. Then 2-1 Capitals. Steven Stamkos gets his third of the season, ties it up 2-2. Third period comes around. Alexander Ovechkin gets the game winner. Predators tie it up, called back on goaltender interference. And you can tell, too, like, there's less than 10 minutes left. I think it was like 7.5 minutes left. They score the goal, call back goaltender interference, and the Predators challenge it. Even though it was called a goal, then they reviewed it, said no goal, and he still was like, screw it, challenge it. Like, we need these 2 points so badly. Like, you already looked at it, we don't care, challenge it. And the Capitals end up winning 3-2. The Red Wings, another game, little too close for comfort for Detroit, but they did what we said they needed to do. They get the victory, 4-1. So the Washington money line in our parlay, check. Detroit money line in our parlay, check. Last thing remaining was the over 6.5 in Vegas Oilers. And to be honest, Andre, we were lucky to get to 6. it ended up not covering the over, but we were lucky to get as close as we were. The Oilers, Vegas leading the game 1-0. Oilers come back 2-1. amazing second period from the Oilers. Exactly the response that they needed. Vegas ties it up, and then goes ahead 3-2 with the empty netter to make it 4-2 late in the game. Not a lot of action, not a lot to draw from, but if anything, what is your takeaway from the NHL on Wednesday night? And it has to be the Predators, right? Like what? Like just night after night, and surprise, surprise, lucky them, they play Florida tomorrow.
Yeah. With honorable mention to Vegas getting their first road win, and the Red Wings,
Yep.
the Red Wings getting the win, accepting our challenge, taking it on, and coming through. This needs to be like a open Predators vent session. So if there's any Nashville fans out there, feel free to chime in. But when it rains, it pours, right? I mean, these are the kind of things that happen when you just can't buy a break. You just can't get 2 wins or 2 points or win in general. You talk about just tonight's game. They strike first in DC. It's going good. They let up 2, which happens. I mean, it's still tough to play in DC, even if the Capitals aren't the championship contending team they were, let's say, 10 years ago. So you let up 2 more, tie it up. Okay, you're in the third period, tie game, fresh 20 minutes. You win this 20 minutes, you get 2 points, and you just got to you break even on these 20 minutes. You at least get out of there with 1, right? When you're a team that's struggling, you take what you can get. You hope you just get to the finish line. You finally can breathe at the end. It seems like the Predators just can never breathe. I mean, that's what it feels like. Just every time they're right there sometimes, and then it's just gone. That team has a lot of talent.
Yeah.
Some sports are just cool, though. I mean, we both know.
Well, and like you look at it now, man, like Colorado plays Winnipeg tomorrow night. That's a huge game. Like you're going to Florida on a back-to-back. You being Nashville, you lose that game, and Winnipeg wins that game. Like you're all of a sudden, quick math, 17 points back of the division lead, right? I think Dallas plays Chicago tomorrow night. We're going to talk about these games. Dallas plays Chicago tomorrow night. Dallas wins. You're not insurmountable, but you're 7 points back of that third place. Minnesota plays the Sharks tomorrow. Like with every 2 points you don't get, and I get it, man. Washington's a good team. It's official. I don't know how bought in everybody else is, but I'm there. They're a good team. It is what it is. They're at home. Connor McMichael, if I'm not mistaken, didn't he do it again tonight? Just getting guys from out of nowhere, scoring all these goals. Ovechkin is now 25 again. Like, I get it. Washington's a good team. They're at home. But with every 2 points you give up, man, the rest of your division's winning hockey games. And it's just slipping away one by one by one. And you're right, dude. Like, they're right there, and they just can't finish it. And it's tough. It's tough for Nashville right now. And the longer we go on, man, what do we say? Like, after they started the season, whatever the record was, we said, like, the next couple weeks can't be like this or your season's over. Well, it's starting to be like this. And it's not looking pretty. Now, move on to Chicago, Detroit. Sorry, you got one more thing?
No, not at all. I was just agreeing with you. Yeah, we were basically adamant that, they had to shake it off immediately, especially after they got that first win under the belt and they had those 2 easy games. But continue. Yeah.
Yeah. No, man, we're getting close to the siren. We're getting close. And then move on to Chicago, where we said, man, Detroit, you call yourself a playoff team, you got to win this game. They do it. They cover the -1.5. They win. And my guy never had a doubt, Alex DeBrincat. First goal of the game, gets it in. And then your guy, Nick Foligno, he scores 2. So we did pretty well with the goal scoring props in that game. But huge game for Detroit. They never, I wouldn't say that they necessarily dominated the game. Thought they played really well. They did what they had to do. They got the job done. DeBrincat, stepped up, got the goal. Huge win for Detroit. And that Atlantic, Florida has 19 points, but Toronto is 16, Tampa Bay 14, Detroit and Boston both 13, Senators 12, Buffalo 11. Like, you got to get these points now while you can. So big win for them. And then, like you said at the top of the show, Vegas, first win on the road this year. McDavid back. But the Golden Knights get the job done, and we'll continue to see what happens with Edmonton moving forward. All right. Short slate, small slate. So it's done. It's over. Let's break down Thursday night in the NHL. 12 games to get to, and let's start with your guys. Buffalo Sabres in Manhattan taking on the New York Rangers. This is a line. The New York Rangers minus 196 at home against the Buffalo Sabres, who are plus 162. Minus 1.5 for the Rangers is plus 128. Plus 1.5 for the Sabres, minus 158. Over 6.5 plus 104. The under is minus 128. All right, Andre, it's been a while for you. Do you remember anything about the Rangers? They haven't played in like 3 weeks. You sure need some preparation? Need a minute? I can ramble about Chicago for a while if you need it.
I'm gonna save you from yourself here and not let you ramble about Chicago. Last thing I remember from my team, they were dominating the Islanders before getting an unofficial bye week, if you will. There's 2 ways this game goes. Either the Rangers come out, forget how to play hockey, and it becomes a dogfight for 60 minutes, or the rest serves them well. They regroup, they come out sharp like they did in the season opener, and they just dominate. The Rangers have looked pretty good all year, right? The Capitals got them. They're a good team. A little bit extra motivation because the Rangers sent them home last year on their home ice. You live with that on the road. The Panthers got them. Those are the defending champs. The Panthers, they've been getting up for big games this year. We saw it, especially the teams they consider challengers or rivals. You can live with it. Beside the Utah game in the very beginning of the year was just wacky. First time ever playing them. Maybe they were just shell-shocked, never seen that uniform before. It happens. The Rangers look pretty good otherwise. So
wait, does this team even have a name? Who are these guys? What is this?
Where'd they come from? The Rangers, they've been pretty good this year. Unlike Nashville, they have the winning is a talent. Doesn't get talked about. They have it. They've, for the most part, had it with the puck line in hand as well. I'm sticking with it. It's been comfortable. It's been working. Rangers minus 1.5 at home here. I think the offense, they've had a couple of duds recently, especially at home. The Islanders game being the outlier, but before that, it was 2 goals against the Senators, 2 goals against the I think they're the rest, between the rest, home ice, the Sabres, and what they did on Sunday, I think they're going to be fighting it offensively. So I'm going to take the over, mostly expecting the Rangers to score 4 or 5 goals.
Nashville catching some unnecessary shrapnel. They're going through it enough, bro. Leave Nashville alone. Listen, consider this the most professional analysis you will hear about a hockey game. Buffalo just won a hockey game 5-1. Which means they're going to get thumped tomorrow night. And the Rangers are covering that minus 1.5. I mean, do I really need to go into the numbers and break this down? Like, Buffalo played a great game the other night, and I just don't trust it to last longer than a few days. Give me the Rangers. But you're right, though. Like, the one upside for Buffalo is the Rangers have been sitting like you said, last game was not only Sunday, but Sunday afternoon. They haven't played in about half a week here. So that could be an upside for Buffalo, but I'm taking the Rangers -1.5 too at +128. All right, moving on. Montreal in New Jersey, and I feel for Montreal right now, man. Montreal fans, we knew that it would be a long year, a tough year. We knew most likely not making it to the playoffs. I picked them as a little dark horse, though. Like, don't be surprised if this team's hanging around. Well, now, unfortunately, I will be surprised if this team's hanging around. Coach Martin St. Louis, we all love him, but he's finding himself on the hot seat, which I think is ridiculous. We've talked on this show throughout the year, and like the year that we've been on the air, we've talked about how stupid it is, how quickly these coaches get let go. You put on a roster that everybody knows they're not making it to the playoffs, and somehow the coach still gets fired. We saw that with the Sharks last year. We saw that with the Blue Jackets, and we may see that with the Canadians. And if it happens, I'll hate it just as much as I did with the other teams. But nevertheless, Montreal in New Jersey +245. The Devils -310 at home. +1.5 for the Canadians is -102. -1.5 for the Devils is -120. Over 6.5 -110. And the under is the same. Andre, what do you got, man? Montreal, New Jersey. And does that puck line on Montreal's side tempt you a little bit?
I mean, it always does because, I mean, we say the same thing about this team, right? They just seem, or at least they used to just seem to find their way to make it a fight, to make you sweat a little bit. But also, like you said, things have kind of gone sideways lately. I disagree. I think Marty St. Louis is a fantastic coach. I mean, you saw him come in immediately, kind of turn things around for a team that looked lifeless, soulless, and directionless. But I understand at the same time that they've lost 8 of 10. And particularly when you look at how many goals they've given up in that stretch, it's really ugly. And you can't just blame the goaltending situation. At some point, it's a structural and defensive failure. So against a team like the Devils, that's danger because if you think Seattle scoring 8 and Washington scoring 6 and the Rangers scoring 7, the Devils are going to do something like that if they don't, tighten up very quickly. And there's not much reason to think they will. Maybe hitting the road will help them, but they gave up 6 in DC. They were the first team not to score 3 on the Penguins, I believe. Or maybe they were the second team. But they've struggled a lot on the road, particularly with stopping pucks. So not just Devils -1.5 at this point. I think we might have to go Devils -2.5 to get real value. I know it hurts, but I just can't see a way that a team giving up more than 4 goals per game on the road is going to go into Jersey, face that power play, face that offense, and be competitive. So I could see 6 for the Devils easy. And do you see the Canadians scoring more than 3? Probably not.
So before I dive into my thoughts on this, I got a real beef, and I caught myself the other day, and I forgot about this, and it happened again to me today. And I think you very subtly corrected me on air. You didn't say you corrected me, but you corrected me. And I just caught it happen again. What is with this app, the NHL app? Like, my computer is old, and I have to use my phone instead of, like, my browsers. It is what it is. And I'm looking on the NHL app. Players to watch. Cole Caulfield, 3 goals. I know that's not right. This guy scores every single night. And I scroll down. It's the same page. Scroll down. Cole Caulfield, 10 goals. What's with this app, man? Make me look like an idiot. We probably lost 50% of our viewers because I'm an idiot or the app is an idiot, one or the other. I prefer to blame somebody else if I can help it. But nevertheless, NHL, you're a multi-billion-dollar company. Can we sort this out, please? People like me rely on you on a daily basis.
Yeah.
All right, and rant. I mean, Montreal hasn't, or the Devils haven't played since Monday. Jake Allen was in the net against the Oilers. Now, Markstrom. I just combined Jacob and Markstrom into one word. Markstrom is going to be in net more than likely tomorrow night. I would love to take this Montreal plus 1.5, but right now, man, this team is losing by 2 goals every night. It's tough. It's tough. And the only time they're not losing by 2 goals is against Pittsburgh. So, to me, I'm right there with you. I'll take the -1.5. I won't get super crazy with the -2.5. I can see a world where Montreal kind of snaps out of it and keeps this game close. But I'll take the Devils -1.5. And as always, you got to go Cole Caulfield. He's plus 200. The guy's amongst the leading scorers in the NHL. He's plus 200. So I'll take some of that. If they score 3 goals or 2 goals, someone's got to score at least one, right? And I'm taking Cole Caulfield on that all day long. On the Devils side of things, there's lots of really good candidates to bet on for scoring. Jack Hughes, he's plus 120. He hasn't really popped off yet as far as goal scoring goes. I'm interested to see that. Eventually, he's going to get hot. Nico Hischier plus 140. Timo Meyer plus 170. But if you even go, I don't know if you have it in front of you, Stefan Neeson, he's plus 380. I feel like that guy's scoring like every night. Doesn't he have like 7 goals or something like that?
I know he scored in Edmonton for sure. He has 6.
He has 6. Okay. So plus 380 for him.
6 goals, 7
Eric
assists,
Holla,
13 points.
who was a sneaky good pickup on my fantasy waiver wire. He's plus 330 to score. Paul Cotter plus 390. They got lots of deep dives who are scoring a lot of goals. So I like a long shot bet on one of those, but definitely Cole Caulfield. I'll take him at plus 200 all day long, whether they win or lose. All right, let's move on. Nashville Predators, the aforementioned Nashville Predators in Florida to take on the Panthers. -178 are the Panthers at home. The Nashville Predators are plus 146. -1.5 for Florida, plus 142. Plus 1.5 for Nashville, -176. The over 6.5 is plus 108, and the under is -132. Andre, do the Predators have a hope at all here? Back to back. Florida is coming home from Finland, so maybe some jet lag. They were there all week last week for the most part. Played a couple games. They're back home. Maybe that bodes well for the Predators.
Yeah, time zone changes, presidential changes. There's a lot that they missed.
Yeah, they won't recognize
when they
their
were
own
in
country.
Finland. I don't really know if they're prepared. Nah, the Panthers are. Yeah, the Panthers will be fine. 5-game winning streak. That includes the Rangers and the Stars twice, and in all those games, but the Rangers game, they scored at least 4 goals. Looking at the total tally here, it looks like 24 in 5 games. It's just under 5 per game. We know what they're capable of defensively. We know what they have in net. Special teams on both fronts, perfectly, not just fine, but good. Borderline great. Nashville, if you do this, I'll be very grateful. I'll be very happy for you. I'll applaud you. I'll come on this show next time we talk some hockey. Would that be Friday at this point? I might dedicate an entire
Yeah.
segment to you.
Did you hear what
I have
Barry
no
Trotz
faith
said today
whatsoever.
on
Panthers
Nashville
-1.5
Sports
here.
Radio? Did you hear his comments? I can't believe we didn't talk about this on the Wednesday preview. Did you hear
I'm
it?
scared.
He
I try not to.
Oh yeah,
keep
but
up with Barry Trotz,
you
as
got
bad as that may seem.
you got yeah, that's fair. I love me some Barry Trotz. He and kind of like he's in Nashville. He looks like Dave Ramsey, who's also from Nashville. It's a whole thing. It's pretty funny to me. But he said he was like, I'm gonna try some things. We're working some things out, but if things don't change soon, I'm gonna start the rebuild. And Steven Stamkos and Marchessault and Shea are looking at each other like, what? We just signed here for like 4 years. What are you talking about? But yeah, dude, I mean, listen, man, Florida, they are the only team because, Winnipeg, they look really good right now, and they're my favorite team to watch in the National Hockey League, bar none. I love watching that team. They're really good. They got a really good game tomorrow night that we're going to talk about in a little bit later. Vegas gotten off to a really, really good start. But Florida, like, they've been to back-to-back Stanley Cup finals. They won the whole thing last year, obviously. They're just chilling. Like, they're just going in. They're winning hockey games. They don't have anything to prove. Like, sure, maybe to themselves if they want some bulletin, board material or a chip on the shoulder or whatever. But the Jets had an incredible year last year, got dummied in the first round of the playoffs. Vegas, good year last year, not great. They lost in 7 games to Dallas. They had injury trouble, but they don't really have much to prove either, I guess. But for Florida, man, they're just coming into this season and they're just like, we're the champs until someone says we're not. And right now, they're absolutely rolling. I don't think Nashville has a chance, and I'll take this one, -1.5 as well. When you talk Florida Panthers, you got to talk Sam Reinhart, man. He's +140. He's scoring almost every single night. I think a lot of people saw last year as a fluke. Yeah, he's a good player. He's not a 60-goal scorer.
Kind of fair.
It's off to a great start again, man, and he's +140 to score. I took a break tonight, and it worked. But tomorrow, I'll jump back on the Philip Forsberg train. He's +160. Steven Stamkos at +200. He scored tonight. Based on how his season's gone, I do not expect him to score again tomorrow night. But I would love to see him get going, man. My heart kind of goes out to Stamkos a little bit. Didn't want to leave Tampa. He did. And the team that he's on right now is just going through a tough time. But I'll take Philip Forsberg +160, and I'll take Sam Reinhart +140. And I will take Florida -1.5, +142. All right, moving on. You don't like Barry Trotz, but you love this next team, the Pittsburgh Penguins in Carolina. And these odds, man, I'll say this. If you watch this show throughout the summer, you watch the show so far this year, I owe the Hurricanes a massive apology. Like, I don't know what it is. And I'm not the only one, man. Like, you listen to shows from around the country, like, a lot of people pick Carolina to take a major step back. And I guess that's still possible. But this team, they're not just winning, man. They're crushing teams every single night. I know Philly was a little bit dicey there for a while, but they still ended up winning 6-4. -260 are the Carolina Hurricanes at home, and the Pittsburgh Penguins +210. Tough for the Penguins, +210. -1.5 for the Hurricanes is -104. +1.5 for the Penguins is -118. The over is 6.5 at -106, and the under is -114. And to be honest, I know that they're both, minus money, but I'm surprised that the over isn't the favorite between the two, personally. Andre, what do you got, man? Pittsburgh Penguins, Carolina Hurricanes.
I'm pretty shocked that the over isn't the favorite for this one too. And I mean,
Yeah,
most of it comes from one side. Carolina's offense. I mean, they've been on fire just as a team. They went from 2-2 to 9-2, 7-game winning streak. But since that first game, that 4-1 loss to Tampa, they scored at least 3 goals in every single game. And they only scored 3 goals in 2 of them. The rest have been 4 plus. Their offense is absolutely on fire.
yeah,
And which is, I'm not going to say abnormal because they've always had a strong offense, but I think usually when you think about the Canes, you think about the strong, solid defensive structure that just really like drags teams down when they have a lead. But no, the Canes third in scoring, 4.09 goals per game. Uh, but against this Penguins team, that's a golden matchup. I know they had started to round into shape, talking about defensively. They held Anaheim to 1 goal. They held Montreal to 1 goal. You know what those teams have in common?
they
They're
suck.
bad. They're bad. Thank you. I'm glad you knew.
Yeah.
Those games are also both at home, so they still haven't traveled and held a team below 3 goals. This ain't gonna be it. Not the Canes. Regular season Hurricanes. They're kind of like the Maple Leafs at this point, where regular season's a formality. You know Carolina's going to get 100
Yeah.
points. You know they're going to make the playoffs. You know they're going to be one of the top 3 seeds in their division. Probably top 2. What are they going to do in the playoffs? But they still have to go through the regular season trek to get to the playoffs, and that includes winning games like this one. I'm going to take the -1.5. Honestly, this is another game where I wouldn't be scared of -2.5, but that's just being greedy, and I'm not going to tempt fate like that. -1.5 here. I love the over. Expect 4+ goals from Carolina easy in this one. I think their team total right now, 3.5 is -150, so not the greatest odds, but they're going to score at least 4, and that should be enough to win the puck line.
Yeah, man, I'm right there with you. I like the -1.5 for Carolina. I like that over as well. On the prop side of things, Martin Nikas, I'm probably not pronouncing that right, but I think you know it. What's the pronunciation? I'm butchering names this season, bro. I don't know what it is. I'll blame it on
It feels weirder this season. You blame it on what?
the fact that it's midnight. I'll just blame it on that.
Oh, yeah.
But
Well,
it's been
yeah,
happening
obviously.
even in the
That's
middle
why.
of the day. So
It is midnight. Fresh things happen tomorrow, or today, I guess. Martin Nietzsche's.
Nietzsche's. I knew that.
Yeah.
Point is, he scored a goal in each of the last 4 games. He has 7 goals on the year, 20 points on the season. He's having a phenomenal year, and I think the thing with the Hurricanes that you mentioned is their goal scoring has been fine during the regular season. It's the playoffs where it always dries up. That's where you got. That's why you got Jake Gensel last year, and it didn't pan out for you. If this guy can keep this up in the playoffs, then you kind of have something that you developed yourself. You don't need to go out and necessarily get something. He's had strong years before. Highest goal total is 28 goals, though, and he already has 7, not even 15 games into the regular season. So he's someone to look out for. For him to get a goal is still plus 200, and he's been scoring every night for the past 4 games, so I really like that one. Overall, Sidney Crosby is plus 210. He has 6 goals on the year. I don't think that the Penguins are going to get shut out. Getting Sidney Crosby at plus 210, that's going to be hard to turn down. I can already see my parlay spinning in my head. Sidney Crosby plus 210. I really like that one. And yeah, those are my 2 goal scoring props, and I love the Carolina Hurricanes -1.5. Did you say -2.5? Did I hear that right?
I said I'm not afraid of it. That would be greedy, but I do think they're going to win this game like 6-2.
Yeah. And I think the over at -106 I think is the right play as well.
Yeah.
All
Let's
right.
get started.
Moving on to a game where in theory these odds make sense, but I've watched a lot of Boston over the last week and a half, and I know Calgary is not super strong, but this seems a little bit wonky to me. This seems a little bit like the odds that we've talked about last week, where I'm just like, I don't really trust this. Um, but then Vegas turns around, and they're right. So the Calgary Flames plus 150 on the road, Boston Bruins minus 184 at home, minus 1.5 for the Bruins is plus 138, plus 1.5 for the Flames is minus 170. The over 5.5 minus 130, and the under plus 106. What do you got, man? Calgary, Boston. I don't know. I don't like this minus 184, bro. Something smells fishy about this.
I don't really I don't like this game. Period. Not a lot of trust going around here. I will say, I mean, Calgary got this road trip started with an OT win. They really needed that. The Bruins, man, I don't know what to do with this team right now because they just they've had some performances where it's like, okay, they're the Bruins, they're fine. It's early, we're overreacting, but for the most part, they've been, I don't even want to say mediocre, just subpar team.
Yeah.
The Senators have a better point percentage than them. If you're sorting by points percentage, they're sixth in the Atlantic. They're below 500, and it looks every bit of that. They have a minus 12 goal differential. It looks every bit of that. For as many games that have kind of walked us off the ledge as far as saying they're cooked, they're done, uh, whatever adjective you want to use to describe them, there's been just as many games where it's like, this is not a good team. They didn't look like they belonged on the ice tonight at all. You saw it on, was it Monday at this point? Was that the 5th? Maybe it was Tuesday. Days kind of blend at this point. You saw it on Halloween, and sandwiched in between that, there were 2 shutout wins. So what do you do with the Bruins? That's the great conundrum. Which version of them are you going to get? Because even as Calgary has kind of receded into normalcy, you still expect decent offensive production. Besides the Vegas trip, which Vegas is an absolute juggernaut at home, they've put shots on net. They've lit the lamp a few times. They've given themselves a chance, and it's all about the defense. And I think that'll be enough here. I think 2 or 3 goals gets them to OT at the very least. And I would roll the dice on them pulling it out in OT with the way the Bruins season is going at this point. So I'm going to take Calgary plus 150 here in the under. I'm seeing a low score game. It's one of both of the offenses. I don't think either of these offenses has been able to score with goals personally, unless it goes to the OT. And I think Calgary, that favors Calgary. Roll the Flames.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. Like, I'm telling you, dude, like watching that Leaf game last night against Boston, like I I'm telling you, like I've watched a lot of Boston over the years as a Leaf fan to they've been the bane of my existence for years now. I'm telling you, that game last night was weird from Boston. Like just taking stupid penalties, that just like the body language, the amount of penalties that this team takes, they take the most penalties in the National Hockey League. And listen, Calgary's power play, they're not like juggernauts or whatever, but I'm just saying like this, and I said it, like I know that back-to-back shutouts, blah blah blah, but like Jeremy Swayman, like him missing training camp, it's mattered. I know he's had some good performances, he's had some good wins, but it's mattered. And I just don't trust this Boston team at all. Like if I'm gonna bet, or if I think Boston is gonna win this game, like minus 184, dude. Like again, we talk about this all the time. I know that it's numbers, and granted, a lot of times Vegas is right about these. I understand it. But just watching these games, man, Boston, like, not only do they not look good right now, but they just don't look like the Boston Bruins. They just don't. And it's really, really curious to watch. Now, Calgary, plus 150. I don't care if they're on the road. This team has good players, man. This team is good. They've had some stinkers, absolutely. But this is not a good hockey team, but they're a lot more competitive than the plus 150 gives them credit for. And I'll take Calgary here. Absolutely. Plus 150. I'm not taking any props in this game because every time I do, it's always Nazem Kadri, and he gets like one shot on goal. And he takes a stupid penalty in the third period. So I'm not going to worry about props on this game, but I'll take Calgary plus 150 all day long. The over, it's at 5.5 for a reason. I don't know how I feel about this. I can see it being a 3-2 hockey game, but I can also see a weird 4-3 game. So I'm staying away from the total, but I'm not scared of taking Calgary plus 150 here. I don't trust what I see from Boston. Not only that, I don't like what I'm seeing at all. Like, something seems weird there. We talked about it earlier. Elliot Friedman, our guy, great guy. We don't know him, but we know that he's a great guy. He called this out weeks ago, and we're watching it right now on the ice. So I'll take Calgary plus 150 all day long. All right, moving on to my nation's capital, the Ottawa Senators, home to the New York Islanders. The injury-riddled New York Islanders plus 126 on the road. Ottawa minus 152. Minus 1.5 for the Senators is plus 168. Plus 1.5 for the Islanders is minus 210. The over is 6.5 at plus 116, and the under is minus 142. What do you got? New York Islanders, Ottawa Senators. Are you there? You got me?
Yeah,
right.
I just had a huge. You can hear me. Is my camera on?
Nah, man, I hear you though.
Yeah, just huge technical error here. What have I been doing? I've been fading the Islanders. It's been working for me pretty well and pretty consistently. I know they stuck one out in OT against the Penguins the other night, but that's an outlier these days. They're just they're finding ways to lose, if you will, for the most part. And they're definitely not winning consecutive games. So here come the Senators. I know they're not doing much better, but they've looked like a better team for most of the year. Better goal differential for sure. They've allowed fewer goals. They've scored more. They're at home. I like them. I think they're going to win. I'd probably take the 60-minute line just for a little bit of extra juice instead of just a regular money line. I'm not sure if I would take the puck line. I don't think I have to trust in them for that, but they're going to win this game. I can feel pretty confident about that.
Yeah, for me, man, like I'm with you. I really want to take the puck line. I think rather than taking the puck line, though, I'm going to take the over. I think that either way this goes, both teams are going to score. I think Ottawa's going to score like 5 or 6 goals tomorrow night. Listen, not just based on like, okay, this is what I think is going to happen or whatever, but the Ottawa Senators, they've played some really good hockey games. That game, I mentioned it a few times already. That game against the Rangers last weekend, man, that was Ottawa's game all day long. Like, they've played some great hockey games, and they got smacked last night against Buffalo. And so with that team, new coaching staff, I'm just going to say, okay, listen, you got smacked by Buffalo. Now you're facing an Islanders team who's missing like their entire top line, and they're missing like a bunch of really good players. Go out and win a hockey game. I like what you're saying about that 60-minute line. I think the over is a play on Ottawa as well. Over 6.5 at plus 116. I'm really expecting a lot from Ottawa tomorrow night, and I really want to see a definitive victory because they owe it to themselves after that brutal game last night. What I will say, Bo Horvat and Brock Nelson for the Islanders, both those guys off to slow starts. Like I said, they got injuries up and down the lineup. Bo Horvat's plus 195 to score. Brock Nelson's plus 210 to score. Win or lose, those two guys got to get cooking soon. They got to start contributing. And I expect one of them to get it going tomorrow night. All right, moving on to Philadelphia and Tampa Bay. The Philadelphia Flyers are plus 162 on the road in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is minus 196. Minus 1.5 for the Lightning is plus 132. Plus 1.5 for the Flyers is minus 162. The over is 6.5 at plus 104. And the under is minus 128. Andre, what do you got, bro? Flyers, Lightning tomorrow night.
Yeah, this is another game where clear-cut favorite, right? The Lightning, they're at home. O'Malley's always a tough place to play. They've really owned Philly the past few years, especially at home. But at the same time, Lightning returning home on a 3-game losing streak. They allowed 15 goals in those 3 games. The offense was fine for the most part. The offense has been fine all year, but it's, can you keep pucks out of your own net? Kind of the name of the game. It's kind of how you lose. And they haven't been doing that lately. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when they come back home. Fortunately for them, especially their PK, which is struggling, they get the Flyers. They should get back on track. They should be fine. I'm going to take them to not only win, I'm going to take that puck line here. You're just not really getting enough from the Flyers offensively where I think they can make this a game. And then they're bleeding plenty of goals as well, very quietly. So it's not like they're shutting down other teams, playing like a bunch of 2-1, 3-2 games. Like they're playing, or they're having to catch up and just not doing it for the most part. We talk about goals allowed. Dangerous against this Lightning team. Give me the over. Give me Tampa minus 1.5.
Yeah, I'm right there with you with this over. It's curious to me that over 6.5 is plus 104. That's very curious to me that it's the underdog pick out of the two totals because, like you said it, man, both these teams can't stop a puck right now to save their lives. And what's interesting is Tampa Bay, you look at this at the standings and they're right there, whatever. You think of, Philly off to a really poor start, 3-7. The Lightning are 4-6. Like they've had some really good games. They've had some good performances, but they're not necessarily burning it down either. So for me, for the Philadelphia Flyers, like you're going into Tampa Bay in a really, really good spot here, and you should be able to bounce back and get the victory. I'm with you. I feel like Tampa should win this game and should win it pretty handedly. But for me in this one, I'm all about that over. Plus money, plus 104, over 6.5. I'm all over that all day long. I feel like Philly is in a good spot here to bounce back and to get a victory. I feel like this is right where you want to catch Tampa Bay, and I can see Philly going in and winning it. However, I don't trust them that much, so I'll just take the over over 6.5 at plus 104. All right, moving on. We got 5 games left. Before we get into these 5 games, I got to ask you a quick question, Andre. And also, everybody, thank you for watching, whether you're watching live on Wednesday night or if you're watching on Thursday. We appreciate you. Andre, I got to ask you a question. Have you ever had a team that you cheer for that's tanking and you're kind of like in and out of it? You're following it sort of, kind of, but then you watch a game and you're like, who in the world are these players? Has that ever happened to you?
Yes, I well, one, very much that I'm a Giants fan, and I've had a lot of who are these players over the years. But the 2010s Knicks were rough, man. I could give you some names if you ever have a day and you just want to hear about, the Alexi Shreds of the world.
Dude, I'm watching the Raptors game right now, and I'm like, who are these people? Like, like RJ Barrett, obviously, he's a dude.
Don't slander Starj.
No, I never would. He's from here, bro. I'm all about RJ. But, like, I'm watching, so I'm like, who is that guy? So weird. And they were beating Sacramento 93 to 87. Now they're losing by almost 20 points. So that's about how this Raptors season has gone and will continue to go. All right, moving on. Chicago, Dallas. In Dallas, minus 360 are the Dallas Stars at home. The Chicago Blackhawks plus 280, minus 1.5 for the Stars, minus 138, plus 1.5 for the Blackhawks is plus 112. Over 6.5 is plus 104, and the under is minus 128. Andre, what do you got? Chicago, Dallas, and am I the only one that kind of sees this as a sneaky Blackhawks play, even though they played tonight? I don't know why. I don't know why. It's just lingering there in the back of my mind.
I feel like if they didn't play today, I would actually be for that puck line. Whether plus 1.5 now, it's plus money. I think the plus 2.5 is going to end up surpassing as the standard come puck drop or midday tomorrow. But they had to fly from Chicago to Dallas after getting their butts kicked. And this Dallas Stars team is very good, and this Dallas Stars team did not look good in Europe.
Fair enough.
Relatively speaking, they didn't look like a championship squad. Before they left, they had beaten the Blackhawks 4-2 in this building. So you got to get your confidence back. It's against a team that you had just beaten. Same venue, pretty much same situation before they had left for Europe. I think they handled business here. I think they win by multiple goals. I don't really know what to expect from Chicago offensively, so I'm going to stay away from the total, but I do know I expect the Stars to put up at least 4 and win this game by multiple goals.
I like to consider myself a pretty smart sports guy. Obviously, hockey is my main thing, but I like to consider myself a pretty smart sports guy. And I heard you. I don't mean to change topic again, but when did DeMar DeRozan sign with the Kings? When did that happen?
The Bulls traded him. Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, no, the Bulls traded him in the offseason. It was part of a 3-way deal. I think they only got like Chris Duarte in 2 seconds. It was actually really bad. And Harrison Barnes went somewhere else from the Kings. But yeah.
That's so funny. I'm like, DeMar DeRozan, when did that happen? Anyway, something's telling me, I don't know. I'm not going to bet it. Maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see. 8-10 start. It can't even be my money-making play after I lose it all at like 10 o'clock. But I don't know. There's no real rhyme or reason, man. I'm just feeling Chicago's going to make this one close. They've been playing, aside from tonight, they've been playing pretty competitive hockey. That plus 1.5 at plus 112 is kind of tempting to me. Dallas, they did not look good in Europe. You're absolutely correct about that. They're back from a very long road trip, longer than usual. I just feel like Chicago's going to win this, or not maybe win this game, but at least keep it close to that +1.5. I don't know. I do think them playing tonight does matter. So I'm with you on that. The one thing that I'm curious about, like, I don't know, man, like Dallas, like, I'm sure there's games that's escaping my memory here. We're almost at like midnight, but like they're 7-4, right? They were 7-2 before heading to Europe, but like nothing about the way they've started has screamed like dominant to me. I don't feel like they're playing their best hockey right now. I don't know. Something about this game, I just feel like Chicago's going to keep this close.
Fair. Yeah, they've looked better on the road, and I think if they didn't play tonight, I would be on the same wavelength. I'd probably take them +1.5. But I think the back-to-back is the biggest thing for me in this one. I do agree that Dallas hasn't played their best, though.
Yeah, that's fair enough. All right, moving on to St. Louis, where the injuries are piling up for them. No Broberg for 4 to 6 weeks, if I remember correctly. No Dylan Holloway. Still haven't heard an exact timeline on that one yet. And Robert Thomas is out as well. St. Louis Blues -110 at home. Utah Hockey Club -110 on the road. -1.5 for St. Louis is +225. +1.5 for the Hockey Club is -290. Over 5.5 is -140. The under is +114. Just in the last few minutes, the lines have changed a little bit, Andre. Utah is now -111, while the Blues are -108. What do you got, Utah, St. Louis?
Yeah, the St. Louis Zoo might be overrated, but this team, I think, is properly rated. I'm going to give them props here. What they've done at home lately has been pretty impressive. All right, the first game I'm about to say, in their last 5, they snuck out a 1-0 OT win over the Islanders. Whatever. Mediocre teams still with mediocre teams still. Then they beat the Canes 4-3. Then they lost to the Jets 2-3. Those are 2 really good performances, I would say. Then they beat the Leafs 4-2. Then they beat the Lightning 3-2. I think those are 2 more good performances. They had a 3-game losing streak on the road in between there, but they're handling business at home. And this Utah club, I mean, I guess I can't say club. They are the Utah Hockey Club. This Utah team, they got off to a hot start and they've been a train wreck since. So, fading them. Utah, what's their road losing streak at now? 5, right?
I believe so, yeah.
0-3-2 in their last 5 road games. They're not pulling them out. I know they're beat up, and you've been talking about it a lot. I'm taking the Blues here. I'm taking them in a low-scoring game. Not really trusting either offense, especially not Utah on the road. And I'm taking the Blues to pull out another win.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. Even without the road losing trip, they're 2-5-3 in their last 10 games, right? Utah. I'm right there with you, man. I think something happens when these teams, especially early on, we saw it with the Oilers. We've seen it with different teams. When you lose, we saw it with the Leafs last night. When you lose like your best players or key parts of your team, especially early on, it's not unusual to see a team kind of rally around each other and find a way to grind out wins. And I'll take St. Louis here right there with you all day long. -108 now on FanDuel. The total scares me. I think there's a reason that over 5.5 at -140. But I like St. Louis to win here as well tomorrow night. Utah, I know that they made some trades to bolster their defense, but still don't trust that defense. The offense is not producing like it was at the beginning of the year. And I trust the goaltending for St. Louis more. I'm right there with you. They've been good at home, 4-2 at home. And I like St. Louis to win tomorrow night. I will throw out there, he's got a couple in the last few games. Jordan Kyrou plus 200, which I think is terrific odds for a scorer like him. He's got some goals, still hasn't really got going yet early in the season, but I'll take Jordan Kyrou to score tomorrow night at plus 200. And Jake Neighbors, a little long shot bet. Jake Neighbors plus 260, which seems a little long to me. So I like that one as a long shot. I like Jordan Kyrou plus 200, and I like the Blues at minus 108. All right, 3 games left to get to tonight. Once again, thank you for joining us, whether it's Wednesday night or Thursday. We appreciate you. The Colorado Avalanche in Winnipeg, plus 114 for Colorado, minus 137 for the Jets at home, minus 1.5 for the Jets is plus 172, plus 1.5 for the Avalanche is minus 215. The over, 6.5, minus 115, and the under is minus 105. This is a phenomenal hockey game. I'm really looking forward to watching this one. Winnipeg, just after getting dummied by Colorado in the first round, it's been well documented the start that they've been on. Andre, what do you got, man? Colorado, Winnipeg.
Yeah, I've been kind of back and forth on this because this is going to be a real gut check for the Jets. Do you respond to what happened last year? Do you get revenge? Do you stay hot, cement yourself, whatever? Or do you get absolutely bodied again, and then it just all comes roaring back, and then you stumble along, kind of like a nightmare? And I think that's what this game represents for this team. I think this is actually a huge moment for Winnipeg. And unfortunately for them, at least in my professional opinion, Colorado is rounding into shape. I think they're equipped for this moment, this game, this team. I think the Avs are going to continue their recent offensive surge. I guess not too recent, but they won 6-3 the other night. They had a 3-game losing streak before that, and then before that they had a 5-game winning streak. They're starting to find themselves. They hadn't won before any of those, so they're getting back on track. They're nearing that 500 mark. I think they get there with this game. They're getting players back. They have, obviously, Makar and McKinnon have been absolute monsters this year. Scoring hasn't been the issue. There's a lot I still like about this Avs team, even with their start. So I'm going to take them to win this game at the plus 114. Obviously, you have to take the over in this one. Colorado has way too much scoring potential to ignore. The over's hitting 9 of their 13 games. Winnipeg, the over's hitting 8 of their 13 games. They've been offensively.
They're scoring 6 every night. It's crazy.
Pretty undeniable. It's impressive. They lead the league in scoring right now. Yeah, 4.77 goals per game to lead the league. You got to take the over in this one, and that probably is the best bet of the night.
While I do trust you, and your opinion is professional. However, just watching these two teams, so first of all, it looks like, from what I'm hearing and seeing around the league, it looks like Makar is going to miss tomorrow night. He got hurt the other night. It looks like Makar is going to miss tomorrow night, which to me, if Colorado scores 4 or 5 goals tomorrow night, they're going to need all of them, because Winnipeg is just scoring 4, 5, 6 goals every single night. It's outrageous. And to me, where I come to with this one, and why I'm taking Winnipeg on the money line, and by puck drop, I might take them on the puck line. I just think the goaltending is not even close. Like Anunen's played really well. He's been no slouch. 5-2 on the year, 264 goals against, 894 save percentage. So that's where the stats kind of dip Connor Hellebuck, man, he won the Vezina last year, and he's just right back. 9-1 on the year, 210 goals against, 923 save percentage, 2 shutouts already. I just think the goaltending is just outrageous for Connor Hellebuck. He's just played so well. And the offense for this Jets team is just playing so well. They're at home. The vengeance from last year, what happened to them against Colorado. I just think Winnipeg's in too good of a place right now. Clearly, this isn't going to last all year long, clearly. But I do think that the Jets are just in a much better spot right now. No Makar really concerns me. Him and McKinnon have single-handedly fueled the offense for this Colorado team. And without him back there, I'd take Winnipeg all day long on the money line and probably even the puck line. So that's where I am at with this game. As always, when it comes to Winnipeg, I love me some Kyle Connor. He's plus 120. You can't make a goal scoring prop without Nathan McKinnon. He's plus 125. Mark Scheifele plus 185. Nikolai Ehlers, he's plus 200. And Gabe Velarde's been coming on a little bit. He is plus 200 as well. But I really like the last part too. The one thing I forgot to mention is again, this is not going to be a stat that's going to be around for the whole year. If it is, it'll be historic. But the power play for the Jets has been out of this world, 44.4%. For the Avalanche, it's been really good too, 37%. But again, without Makar, I do think that power play suffers. But 44.4% power play and the penalty kill for the Avalanche is third last in the NHL at 68.6%. So if they're not disciplined even a little bit, the Jets can take advantage, and I think they will tomorrow night. All right, moving on. The Vancouver Canucks. 2 really good late-night games. I'm excited for both of these, and one of them involves the San Jose Sharks, so that just shows you how we feel about it. The Vancouver Canucks are in Los Angeles to take on the Kings. Minus 105 are the Canucks on the road. The Kings minus 114. Plus 1.5 for Vancouver is minus 290. Minus 1.5 for the Kings is plus 225. The over is 5.5 at minus 122. And the under is plus 100. Andre, Vancouver, LA. What do you got tomorrow night?
This is one of the more interesting, if not the most interesting, matchups on the entire slate. The Kings, we've talked about them plenty, just keep finding ways to win. 8-3-3 now. After they took down the Wild 5-1, back at home for this. And I mean, last time they were home, they lost in a shootout to the Blackhawks. It's kind of ugly. But the game before that, they beat the Golden Knights 6-3. So, I mean, you look at this Kings team, just finding, they'll lose one, they'll win two. They'll lose one, they'll win two. This Canucks team, I feel like they've been a little bit more streaky. Granted, 4-game win streak helps. They've won their last 2. But it's just been in bunches right now. They seem to be on the right side of the bunch. They're in Cali for a 3rd straight game. Yep. So travel kind of quietly favors them. I think that's going to play here. Talent's not that much of a difference. Performance, at least talking about this season, not too far apart. Vancouver just didn't have to go as far. They didn't have to travel. They're 5-1 on the road. The conditions favor them here. I'm fading LA. They've quietly become my darling, and it's really.
I'm right there with you, man. I'm taking the Canucks all day long. Now, listen, you might say, not you, but the loyal viewers might say, listen, Mark, you've been hard on the Carolina Hurricanes. You owed them an apology, and you gave it to them. What about the Kings? You've been hard on the Kings too. Don't you owe them an apology? Considering they're 8-3-3 to start the year, 19 points. If it wasn't for Vegas, they would be alone. For Vegas winning tonight, they would be alone top in the Pacific. And my answer to you is no, I don't owe them an apology. I still don't trust this Kings team. Yeah, they've gotten out to a great start. Hey, Andre, can you remind me last year? Did they get out to a good start last year or no? A wonderful start. Yeah,
The
man, a
Kings got off
wonderful
to a great
start. I
start
don't
last year.
trust
We
it.
thought they were the
Not
best
saying
team
they're
in the
going to
world.
fall off right now or nothing like that, but if you're asking me to pick which team's going to fall off, the Kings or the Hurricanes, I'm taking the Kings every day of the week. I'm taking Vancouver here, minus 105. It looks like Lankinen will be in net tomorrow. You know my rule when it comes to Vancouver. If Shelovs is in net, stay away. But he looks like he won't be. I'll take Vancouver at minus 105. Now, the other night, very quietly in the NHL, Quinn Hughes had 3 assists, the third of which marked his 300th assist. Or was it point? Now my mind's blanking. I think it's 300th point. No, 300th assist in the NHL. So for me, let's see. It's not up yet, but when we get the ability to bet 2 or more points, I'm taking Quinn Hughes every day of the week. Brady, what's up, bro? It's good to have you on. Thank you for watching and for messaging. Can you start streaming later like this? Oh, man, I don't know, dude. I'm tired. It's 20.
Oh my
I
God.
know.
This
I
dude
know.
in his
He's
Pacific
in
time
Vancouver,
zones.
like the sun's barely down. I know.
I don't think
I
time
know.
didn't push back for him either. Oh,
He probably just
he's
had
probably
breakfast.
wide awake right now.
This
Jeez,
guy.
so selfish.
I don't know, man. Maybe we'll see. I gotta think about it. I gotta think about it. But I'm taking Vancouver. Hey, Brady, you like this? I'm taking Vancouver, man. Minus 105. If Shelov's not playing, I'm all over it. And once the odds come out for Quinn Hughes to get 2+ points or over 1.5 or whatever your book has to offer, I'm taking that every day of the week as well. Give me Vancouver minus 105. And as far as the total goes, I think I actually kind of lean that under, Andre. I can't remember what you said, but I think I kind of lean under 5.5 here, plus 100. I can see a 3-2, 3-1 hockey game.
Oh yeah, for sure. I actually don't think I spoke on it. I would lean under as well.
Yeah. I'll take under here, plus 100. Vancouver minus 105. All right, moving on to a game. Like I said, man, Minnesota Wild. It's tough, like for both of us, because we root for teams and we cover teams. For me in the NHL, but for you in basketball and football, and you cover college sports as well. So for you, the 7-8 o'clock games, it's sometimes hard to watch the rest of the league. It can be like that some nights. We get to watch the Minnesota Wild, bro, and I'm looking forward to this game. San Jose has been playing pretty competitive hockey over the last week and a half or so. They are at home. The San Jose Sharks are there, plus 210 at the Shark Tank, minus 260 are the Wild on the road. Minus 1.5 for the Wild is minus 104, plus 1.5 for the Sharks is minus 118. The over 5.5 is minus 142, and the under is plus 116. Andre, final game of the night, bro. What do you got? Minnesota, San Jose.
Yeah, now I'm gonna need you to hold us accountable.
I got you.
Beats Utah for their first win. Did we or did we not flirt with the idea of the Sharks
cut
win?
out there for a minute, bro. Say that again.
Did we or did we not flirt
We
with the idea
flirted
of
with
the
it,
Sharks
bro.
winning streak
Absolutely. Yeah.
after
Oh yeah, we
their
flirted a
first
bit.
win? Okay, just making sure.
No.
Yeah, just making sure that
Right.
I didn't make that
More
up. You know, it's
delusional
very
than
late. I'm
normal.
kind of delusional. Um, the problem here. The Sharks, they've won 4 of 5. They're
Mm-hmm.
looking good. They're everything we dreamed of coming into the season. They're facing a team that swept them last year. You got to think, they're overdue to beat the Wild. The problem I'm facing with this game is that Minnesota, they lost consecutive games 2 and 3, both in OT to the Kraken and then the Jets, who don't lose ever. Since then, they've been monsters, and particularly offensively. And I know the Sharks are playing so well, but I don't know if they can deny this Wild team from winning, coming off a lower. I think I'm gonna a tiny bit. I think the Sharks keep it tight, push it to OT, and then lose. So I'm gonna take San Jose plus 1.5. It stays under the total. 2-2 when it goes to OT. The Wild get the third one to win it.
So here's the
under 6 plus 1.5.
So here's the thing, bro. Sorry to cut you off, bro. You just kind of broke up for a minute. That's my bad.
Yeah.
That's the thing, dude. Like, I instantly was thinking Sharks plus 1.5 here. I think the Sharks have been playing great hockey. Been watching a lot of Sharks hockey, and they've been playing really good, man. Like, that game against Vancouver on the weekend, bro. That was a 3-2 hockey game. They tied it up late. They showed some fight. Couldn't quite get the job done at the end of it. The problem that I have with this, taking plus 1.5 for San Jose, I'm about it. The problem that I have with this is Minnesota got punked by the Kings the other night. Like, Minnesota, what was the final score? Like 5-1 or something like that. And to me, when a good team gets punked like that, I just have a bad feeling that next game. You know what I mean? Like, to me, like Minnesota losing 5-1 to the Kings, I know the Kings are playing well, and they're a good team, for now. I'm worried about that. I'm worried about that Sharks plus 1.5 just with how bad the Wild lost the other night. That being said, I'll take it. I'll take the plus 1.5. I do think the Sharks have been keeping every game close as of late. I'm taking it. I'm just putting out my concern there a little bit. That Wild loss, that was by far their worst loss of the year. They've only lost a handful. So I that does concern me, but I will take the Sharks plus 1.5 here. As always, give me Tyler Toffoli. He is plus 240 to score, which is surprising to me. That says more about the way that the Wild have played throughout the season than it does about the Sharks, in my opinion. And then, of course, Kirill Kaprizov, a minus 110. Boldy's had a good start. He's plus 160. Now, Tyler Toffoli, it's a long shot, but that's what it's all about. I'm just pulling up so that I get this right, since my NHL app just loves to deceive me and make me look like a fool.
Yeah. NHL app has its moments.
Yeah. So I just want to pull this up. So Tyler Toffoli, 3 shots in his last game, 0 shots against Vancouver. Before that, 8 shots, 4 shots, and 8 shots. So in his last 5 games, he has, quick math, 16, 20, 23 shots in his last 5 games. For me, a nice long shot prop that I love. Tyler Toffoli to get 5 shots on net is plus 470. Plus 470 for Tyler Toffoli to get 5+ shots. I love that. Even if you want to water it down a bit, even 4+ shots, is even plus 215. So to me, this guy is shooting a lot. He's going to get his cookies as well. So I like him to score, and I like a little long shot, 5+ shots at, what did I say, plus 470. All right, bro. Moving on now to our best bets, brought to you by the one, the only First Round Collectibles. Right now, with our promo code Sports Addict, get 10% off whatever sports card you want in the entire First Round Collectibles store. They have an ongoing sale up to 50% off dozens and dozens of cards. And with our promo code Sports Addict, not only do you get 10% off of regular priced items, but sales items as well. Hockey, football, basketball, baseball, wrestling, boxing, whatever you want, I promise you they have it. Go to firstroundcollectibles.com today. Use promo code Sports Addict for 10% off your order. That's the number one, STRoundcollectibles.com, firstroundcollectibles.com. First Round Collectibles, sports cards for sports fans. Andre, what do you got, bro? I keep doing that like Andre, because there used to be 3 of us and now there's not, but like old habits die hard, bro. What can I say? Andre, what do you got? Best bet tomorrow night.
Yeah, they did used to be 3 of us, huh? And now there's just your face and a letter A on the screen. Shout out to
Dude,
technology.
that happened. The camera difficulty for you that who joined us recently. There used to be 2 faces here, but you know what? This happened to me last week, bro. Like, you had to go through half a show with just a black screen, so it happens to all of us.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't. It doesn't mean I have to like it. Shout out to John Galletley.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, bro.
Yeah.
Not picking the Devils is my best bet, but shout out to you. The Avalanche.
We miss him.
Yeah, we do. The Avs and the Jets, that over 6.5. It never left my bet slip. It's calling to me. I just, the Jets, highest scoring team in the league, doing it to everybody. The Avs, you know what they're capable of. They're 9th right now, 3.5 goals per game, just a little bit over that. The problem with the Avs, particularly in this matchup, they give up the most goals per game, 4.15. Their PK, 16.6%, one of the worst in the league as well. The Jets are going to get their fair share of goals in this game. You have to imagine, and you know the deal with Colorado. They don't get blanked. They're going to find the back of the net. It's what they do. And I don't think they've been held. I think they've scored multiple goals in every game so far this season, even with their losing streak to open it and their recent losing streak. I think at the very least the baseline was 2. And that's a major reason why 9 of their games have gone over the total so far. So sticking with it here, give me the over 6.5 in Manitoba.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. And for me, my best bet, listen, since Brady's here, I was praying that they had the Leafs odds on Friday, and just to, piss Brady off, I was going to pick the Leafs, who don't even play tomorrow night. But they don't have those odds up. And because Brady is here, and I love this bet, I am taking the Vancouver Canucks -1. Not -1.5. That's a lie. -105 on the money line. We literally just talked about this game. I just trust the way Vancouver's playing. As I don't know, man. Like, I know that the Kings are 9-3-3. The most unconvincing 9-3-3 that I've seen. I know the record doesn't lie, but I just trust. This Canucks team more. They've been on the road for a little bit, and I like them to take it home tomorrow night at -105.
Yeah, man. What are the Kings like? What are we gonna do with them? You think they're wearing the shiny buckets tomorrow? I guess tonight.
Yeah, I think they both will.
Oh yeah, that's what we need.
I think they both will. Blue. Yeah, I do gotta say though, like, I much prefer just the classic helmets, but those like old school 90s Vancouver jerseys, the black ones with the matte black helmets. That's a good look, man. Like I'm not. I just love a classic helmet. I don't need matte. I don't need shiny. Just give me classics. But I don't mind that matte black helmet, bro.
That was deep. We need a uniform episode one day.
Oh,
Maybe
dude, you know
like
me.
All-Star week when they have, or that bye week they have. We could just uniforms.
Well, dude,
helmets.
it was awesome when the Leafs played Minnesota on Sunday, and the Wild were wearing the Minnesota North Stars colors. That was dope. I'm all about it, man. Give me
Yeah.
the 90s every day of the week.
Oh, it wasn't the Wild. It was the Stars that had the shiny green helmets. All right,
That's right.
carry on.
That's right.
Carry
All
on.
right, family play, bro. What do we got here?
It's a lot to choose from.
Yeah.
And we're really covering. You want to go for a 7 o'clock since we got some of the later games out here? Or do
Sure.
you want to just stay up late? I mean, we're adults. We can stay up as late as we want, right?
I love staying up late. Hey, man, if the money's there, what do you think?
What? You know what? And you can feel free to veto this if you want. We gave this guy a shout out. He used to be up here with us, John Galletley, New
Yeah.
Jersey Devils fan. He's from Dirty
Our
Jersey.
guy. Yeah.
We both like the Devils puck line. We don't like the way the Canadians look right now, particularly
Yeah.
defensively. We know what Jersey has offensively. We know what that power play is. You want to take that puck line? -115.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Yeah, all right. New Jersey Devils, -1.5. I have it at -120. What do you have it as?
I have it at -115 right now.
Amazing. Look at you, eh? Look at you.
It's still
Love
it's still late. DK hasn't got lapped yet. FanDuel catches up during the day.
Yeah.
So what are your parlay odds?
So over 6.5. Colorado, Winnipeg -115. Vancouver -105. Devils -1.5. -120. Plus 569.
Oh,
You edge me out or what?
I am plus 567. I think you got me.
Oh,
DK has the Canucks -115. That's where you got
that
me.
does it.
Yeah,
That does it.
the 2-cent difference right there.
Absolutely love it. Well, everybody, as always, thank you so much for watching. Whether you're watching live, late on a Wednesday night, or throughout the day on Thursday, we appreciate you. Brady, we appreciate you, man. We'll do our best. I don't know. This is a bit late, and I'm gonna wake my son up any minute here. So we'll see if we do this again down the stretch. But we appreciate all you guys. Shout out to First Round Collectibles. Promo code Sports Addict for 10% off your order. Sports cards order, that is. And of course, as always, shout out to the one and only Total Apex Sports. You can check out my thoughts on the Maple Leafs at totalapexsports.com and coverage on every sport known to man. We appreciate you guys. We'll be back Friday. Have a great